I direct and announce as follows. 1, that the nationwide curfew enforced throughout the territory of the Republic of Kenya is extended for a further 60 days. 2, that the commencement time for the nationwide curfew is varied from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Therefore, effective tomorrow, Tuesday, the 29th of September 2020, the nationwide dusk to dawn curfew will run from 11 o'clock at night to 4 o'clock in the morning. 3, that the prohibition against the operation of bars and the prohibition against the sale of alcoholic drinks and beverages by ordinary restaurants and eateries shall stand vacated with effect from the 29th of September 2020. Unaweza kukunywa pombe, sawa. 4, that the closing time for all bars and restaurants and eateries shall be 10 p.m. every day with effect from the 29th of September 2020, and their operations shall be with strict adherence to the applicable guidelines and protocols issued by the Ministry of Health. 5, that in line with the recommendations of the Interfaith Council, the permitted maximum size of religious gatherings is increased to 1/3 of its normal sitting capacity, but with strict adherence to all applicable guidelines and protocols issued by the Ministry of Health. 6, that the permitted maximum number of persons attending funerals and weddings is reviewed upwards from 100 to 200, but with strict adherence to all applicable guidelines and protocols issued by the Ministry of Health. And indeed, once again, going back to the Honorable Musalia Mudavadi, he posed a question. We thank Kenyans, but it is we, the political class especially, that is leading the charge in defying laid down protocol. So hii ugonjwa ikiendelea kusambaza, tujiangalie sisi wenyewe mbele ya tuanze kuangalia wananchi. Hiyo nimesema 200, good. As we progressively de-escalate the containment measures and resume a sense of normalcy, on education, our paramount consideration, both as a government, but also as parents, is the safety and well-being of our children. The lives of our children and their health is not a matter for debate. Learning institutions, therefore, should only be reopened when we have and can sufficiently guarantee the safety of all our children. And here, I really would plead with Kenyans, let us not focus ourselves on when schools will reopen, but how shall these schools open in a manner that protects our children and protects their lives and their health. Tafadhali, tusiwe tunapigana juu ya mambo ambaye, let us think first about their health and well-being, and once we have established how, then together we will agree when. So therefore, the resumption of in-person learning must be predicated on strict adherence to the health protocols and guidelines as issued by the Ministry of Health. So therefore, I call upon the Cabinet Secretary for Education, once we have agreed on the how, he will thereafter immediately issue a calendar for the resumption of the 2020 academic year, if it is to be, or if it is going to be 2021. Hiyo ni kulingana na directives na vile tutakubaliana how. As I give these directives, I underscore the need to continue adhering to the health guidelines and protocols to avoid losing the gains we have made thus far. And to also say again that I will not hesitate to escalate containment measures in the event that any of these indicators that we know start to rise again. So fellow Kenyans and conference participants, the containment measures put in place in March of 2020 to stem the spread of COVID-19 have had positive returns in terms of our safety and national security. This is something most people have not actually noted. In the 6 months since we started the containment measures, crime has exhibited a 21% average decline, and traffic accidents have reduced by an average of 10%. So with that, I want to conclude with some thoughts for all of us. As I said, especially with regard to our economy, and as I said earlier, that we are living in a season of paradox, an age where our new reality is a conflict with what we feel reality should be. Indeed, that is not only true of our social lives, but also true of our economy. Against all odds, as we have seen and heard today, some of our entrepreneurs have remanaged and reimagined the subsisting pandemic and created a new business reality that disorganizes the existing order at play. This is a new business model driven by innovators and makers of things, people who did not see danger in the COVID crisis, but actually saw an opportunity.